Good morning. Not done a video for a long while, but I've not had anything interesting to show you. We've been busy. It's difficult. I find it difficult doing videos when I'm actually working in the machine. I need to buy myself a mount for the phone, put it in a better spot, but I have still been making a video if I think I've got something useful or interesting that someone might find helpful. So as you can see there, we're just screening to make some root zone at the golf course. We did some sand last time I was here. The thing I want to show you today is these fittings, which I'm sure a lot of you will know the struggle plugging in the flat face connectors that I did have on this screener bucket and on this machine. Absolute nightmare at times to get plugged in. Horrendous. If they don't want to go in, you'll struggle. I always do the procedure: turn the machine off, flip the ignition back on, wobble the levers, drop the pressure, jump up on top, press the little nipple on the top of the hydraulic tank to let the pressure go out of the tank, so you're not fighting any pressure in the return line. And the last time I used the screener bucket, it didn't matter what I did, I could not plug those connections, could not get those flat face connectors plugged in. And it's just a nightmare, isn't it, when you're struggling and it's raining. And well, I lost an hour and a half as well as a result, because what I ended up doing was, luckily the same size, I took the connectors out of the pipe from the screener bucket and I took the connectors off the machine side and I plumbed the pipes straight to each other on each side and just ran it for that day, and then put it all back together afterwards. And then I did go and order from my local hydraulics shop. I did a little bit of research and I found these connectors, which are called a screw to connect. Only very short as well. Normally your flat face coupler, the male one, would be that big on its own. So these are quite a smart setup, where basically you've got a male and a female, and a male and a female collar, and obviously bullet on the other side. So all you have to do is just push the pipe up about 5 mil, and then that thread will catch. Thread it on, and as you wind that thread, it pulls the connector up and it makes the connection inside. Now also, I'd like to note, I've only done that up with my hand. I've not put a spanner on. Same with this side. And as you can see, they're bone dry. There's no oil down that pipe. There's no oil down that pipe. And I always used to get a little weep of oil on the quick connects, the flat face connectors. It was never a problem, don't get me wrong, but there's no oil with these, and I didn't struggle at all. Did the same procedure, dropped the pressure out the machine. As I say, you just have to push it in about 5 mil, and then the collar does the rest. And I did it with one hand. It was that easy. So bit of cost involved, but not ridiculous, and makes life a lot easier, because struggling with those fittings, they really are bad. These are 3/4 inch on this 130 size machine, and well, sometimes you're just not strong enough to push them in. So there you go. Well worth buying. I'd recommend, if you struggle with pipes, if you ever have, if you've got attachments that you take on and off quite regular, I would well recommend swapping over to these. A bit of cost obviously if you've got a few attachments, but I'll tell you what, the time saved, it took me 5 minutes to put that bucket on, if that, this morning, compared to sometimes half an hour in the last case. So there you go. As I say, I'm not doing videos just for the sake of making a video. I will do them as and when I've got something that I think's interesting or to show you. But we've got a good dry day here for screening, so we're going to continue screening and carting a bit of sand out later in the day. When I take the bucket off, I'll get another short bit of a clip for you, show you the fittings and exactly how they work. And I've never taken them off before, it's the first time I've used them, so we'll see how they come off and how much oil there is, if any, when you take them off. Is there any oil that leaks or not? So we'll see how we go on. Alright, we'll see you then. Alright, we're back. We've just finished screening. We've done about 50 tonnes and worked well, obviously. Fittings aren't any different internally for oil flow or anything than the flat face, so it should have been good. There you go. Bone dry. That's the return. Sorry, that's the feed. Bone dry. I've dropped the pressure on the controls. I'll just drop the pressure on the adjustment, so I'm always consistent doing the same procedure, taking this on and off. See if I can do this with one hand now. I'm hoping I can. There you go, see? One hand. Undo. This is the feed side. Quite a long thread because obviously it has to pull the fittings up to open the valve. Alright, little drip of oil, but do you know what? I can live with that for no battling plugging them in. Seems like a good good trade. Just try and position them so they're pointing down, not getting full of water. Okay, return side, a bit awkward, tight to get your hand in, so a little bit more difficult, but there you go, she's away. Again, only done this up hand tight when I put it on. I do need to get something for keeping all this clean. You can see that there's quite a lot of thread to go out. And this is awkward. I do need to do these are only zip tied on. Now I've got this system that I'm happy with, I need to do a much better job of mounting these so they're more rigid now. Used to be handy with the flat face to be able to pull that and move it to get them straight and lined up, but I don't need to worry about that. Right, that's off. Little wobble again, little drip, but I'll accept that because that was, bear with me, there you go, that was easy, really easy. I'll get a rag out the car in a second, give them a wipe. Closed up right. Right, so 10 out of 10 for them. Really happy with that. So much easier, no struggling. They weren't leaking, the pipes were dry. Excellent. Obviously, if money was no object, you'll put a new headstock on. You wouldn't need the pipes because you would put a EC oil headstock, same as on there, so that when you pick it up in that hitch, it would connect through the EC oil and you wouldn't need the pipes, you wouldn't need to plug in on the side of the dipper arm either. And that way would be nice because I wouldn't need to use the foot pedal in the cab. I could use the roller on the joystick to control it, but they're about, I think they're nearly £2,000 for a headstock, S60 headstock with EC oil on it, and I don't want to spend that money just at the moment. That's a lot of money as far as I'm concerned. That, I mean, you saw how long that took me now, so certainly now I've got those, there's even less reason to put it on because now it's so easy. I'm not struggling. I don't feel like the EC oil, I'd get the money's worth out of it. Right, there you go. Thread to connect, quick release fittings instead of flat face. Definitely a thumbs up from me. Good idea. Right, Encon back on now and we're loading some sand. Alright, I am going to do a video soon on this machine. I've been wanting to do a video for a while, I've just not got around to it, about anyone starting out. Looking at the price of new machinery now is so expensive, but I just wanted to do a little video about my machines. None of it's new, but it's well looked after and regularly serviced. you know, you can do the job. You don't need to go and get yourself into a load of debt to buy new machines. So I'd like to go through that. That'll be my next video. Go through a couple of machines that I own, the age of them, the hours on them, etc., etc. And they're out every day working. All right, see you soon.